All right, welcome back to another video. So this time I'm really excited to be going over this figure. As you can see, it is America's favorite serial killer, Dexter Morgan. Um, this figure actually just arrived today, and I haven't even gotten to look at completely inside. What's inside. I haven't even removed the plastic from the head, from the hands and whatnot. We're gonna be taking a look at this figure together for the first time. And then by the end of the video, we're gonna be figuring out what pose to leave him in. So definitely excited to get this one going. And as you see there's the side of the box, and then there's the back. Dexter, I'm a very neat monster. So let's go ahead and get him open and see what he comes with. I know that this figure was announced a few years ago, and for me, since I haven't been too much into the collecting scene, I actually just discovered this figure existed about 3 weeks ago. And funny enough, is I was from what I was seeing online that everyone thought that the figure was canceled, and then lo and behold, I take a peek at One Man's Hobby, which is where actually I bought this figure just last week, and it's already here. So shout out to him. I saw it was showing up on their new release, and to my shock, I ordered it, and here he is. So let's go ahead and take a look what he comes with, and let's get him opened up. So opening the top box, there's actually this little slip cover inside of someone on Dexter's table about to be put down. Judging by the scene, I think that's actually Brian Moser. That looks to be inside his kill room. Although I'm pretty sure he wasn't on the actual table. He was on a gurney type of thing, as he actually, when he put his brother down, he drained his blood, as if, similar to what he did to his victims. But yeah, a little nice box art here. And then taking out the slipcover, as you can see, there's two head sculpts for Dexter and some hands, and it looks like his bookcase. So everything is still wrapped in plastic. And having said that, let's go ahead and open him up and see how he looks. So taking it out of the packaging, we have this one, the second head sculpt, and there you go. And funny enough, is the head sculpt he currently comes with, I think it makes more sense to have this one, because this one looks to be the more forensic type um, Dexter. The head sculpt he currently has on, I think, is closer to the Dark Passenger Dexter. And you can take a closer look at his badge if it focuses. And that one's an actual picture of the badge that he wears. Hello, Dexter Morgan. Sit him down here. You have this box, blood slides. So that's kind of neat. That's a cool accessory. And it looks like there's a syringe in there too that he uses to trank his victims. And we have some hands, 6 total hands on top of the ones he's currently using. So a total of 8. And so we will take a closer look first at Blood Spatter Analyst Dexter. So right off the bat, I wanted to point out already. So I love the outfit. It looks very accurate. The watch, a dimension badge and all that. I would stand him up if I could find a pose that works. Unfortunately, there isn't an ankle swivel on here, so finding the pose to actually get him to stand up straight has been really difficult, but let's try to figure it out. And as I said, I swapped the heads to make it look closer to blood spatter analyst Dexter. So we found a pose for him to work. Kind of tough, but there he is. Actually, still looking kind of menacing, even though that's the less mean head sculpt, which that's actually perfect. I mean, that's how he looked in the show. I mean, it just that. Let's go ahead and move this box a little bit closer so we can pick him up a little better. All right, so now we are looking at Dexter. Now we're looking at Dexter in his dark passenger outfit. So the top looks good, the pants look good, the boots, they are different from the stock, that how he came from the package. So that's how those look like, and now you can see why there's no ankle swivel. Um, that's a weird design. So part of the ankle pegs into here, so then it like part of the ankle actually separates. So no wonder there's no ankle swivel. And then the boots are pretty much the same shape, just not missing this as they are high cut. Um, so he has a lot of gloved hands, a lot of gloved hands. You can see there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 gloved hands. A lot of gestures ranging from this little gripping by the neck kind of deal. I believe this is how he choked Sergeant Dokes after he was surprise at the docks. He has some fisted hands and an array of open gesturing hands and whatnot. I was hoping I'd be able to pose them into more, variety of poses. However, so might as well touch on this now. This is one of the hardest figures I've ever had to work with. The joints are extremely tough. My wife's actually already in bed, so I couldn't go in there to grab her hair dryer. So I had to get a boiling hot water, and I was afraid to actually dip the figure or the hands or the boots in there. I don't want the paint to wash off, so I just did my best to kind of get everything to soften up, and then eventually I get it to cooperate. Changing the body, the clothes was a little tough. The shirt was easy, but the pants they're so tight fitted, and yeah, so it was a little difficult. The head's actually the easiest, which is sometimes kind of backwards, even with like in art or Hot Toys figures. Sometimes the head is just the one that won't cooperate. But so the way you see him now is probably how I'm going to end up having him posed. I have on the left hand the open kind of choking the victim by the neck, and the other one is designed to hold one of his array of knives. Um, Dexter does come with this apron, which we're going to install on him. I already have a final pose in mind, so you'll get to see that right after. And here are the sleeves that he wears on his arms to protect him from getting any blood on him. You get this pouch, which we'll open up in a second. So first we'll go look at this backpack. This is his backpack that he uses for work. Um, so I wish I saw that he came with this, or so I would have posed him with this when I had the police clothes on, or I'm sorry, the blood spatter analyst clothes on. But so we're just gonna show that right now. as I will not be changing back his body, not anytime soon. Once I have him in the pose that I have in mind, he's going to be on that pose for a while. So hopefully this does open up, unlike the blood slide box, and it looks like this does, as this is Velcro. Nice. So what we have there are his array of cutting tools. Got a bone saw, a butcher knife, other things, and there's the bone saw that he uses to cut the victims up into pieces, and there's a bigger one and whatnot. So these are plastic, and to be honest, even though they're painted like that, they don't really do a good job of convincing you that that they could be die cast. You can tell from afar they're plastic, which is unfortunate. So this thing it looks good enough as long as they're kept in there, but I wish they did a better job of painting these things. Yeah, they look really cheap, unfortunately. So we're gonna have to dock this thing for that. Yeah, this is kind of a shame, but I don't think this is. I believe this is the one he usually uses too. Yeah. So we're gonna be using that one. We're gonna keep that one out. Yeah, and that's the accessories that the Dark Passenger comes with. Not too bad. Not too bad. Still, like as I've mentioned, the theme I'm getting with this figure is rushed, which is unfortunate given that they've had 2, 3, maybe 4 years to get this figure out to you, to us, and I that's the word that keeps rushing to my head is the figure is rushed. Even the body is tough to work with. The articulation. From my experience, the closest I can compare the body to is Bane 1.0. At least that figure was buff, and you can maybe headcanon it and that explain it away, saying that since Bane is so buff that he can't really do like a double bend on the elbow, but Dexter is obviously not that. He's a fit guy, and we can't really excuse that away. So if I were to describe the figure so far, it looks great. I'm a fan of the head sculpts. I'm a fan of the clothes, of how he looks. Some of the accessories are good. Some are very disappointing, as like the tools he has, which I guess the way you can maybe excuse that away is you don't want it to be die cast to be sharp or anything, as these are like real life items, but at the same time they could look a little bit less toyish. um so far I'm thinking the figure is dated and rushed, so I'll leave it at that for now. So we're gonna go ahead and put his apron on and see if we see. So a little foresight mistake in my part is I'm hoping I can put these on the figure without having to remove the hands. Because if not, just full disclosure, I'm just going to be putting this on. because those joints are a royal pain to work with. All right. All right. So we have the apron on, and Dexter in the pose there where he's ready to go in for the final kill. The sleeves, unfortunately, I actually managed to get the pegs out, the wrist out, and I wanted to install the sleeves to make it more show accurate. Unfortunately, I think it involves having to roll up the sleeves, and I'm not sure that's something I want to leave them in. I don't want to wrinkle the clothes, although the material is pretty stretchy, but I don't know if that's something I want to risk. I mean, looking at that, I really like that pose. His eyes look really menacing. Yeah, I'm actually really digging that look for him. But let's go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and I actually have something arranged. I kind of pre-planned the final pose. You can say I cheated a little bit. I already have the final pose I wanted to look at, and judging just by how he looks right now, the eyes and the even though the posability is hard with this figure, um, the way I'm able to position the hands and the knife, I really dig it. Figure is looking really good, given how hard the figure is to work with. Although once as is with everything, you soften things up, it's easier to work with. I don't know. I've never been a big fan of using a blow dryer or anything like that. But I guess you have to do what you have to do. And the other thing, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe a few months down the line, I'll switch him up and change him to forensic Dexter again, or maybe change it up for him to sneaking up to someone in his dark passenger clothes and with a syringe in hand. But for now, this is very iconic, and let's go ahead and change him out to what I had in mind for his final pose, and then we'll go ahead and grade the figure. All right, guys. So I did manage to put the sleeves on them. I'm gonna go ahead, I guess, and risk it. I guess we can always iron out if it gets wrinkled or bunched up or anything like that. But I'm fairly sure it should be okay. So what do we have here? Dexter having someone on his table, about to plunge the knife into his victim's heart. Um, so things like this is what really does the figure for me. Yes, his articulation's limited, but I mean, there's no denying you have something like this on your display, it's going to catch someone's attention. I mean, yes, it's a little dark, but I mean, what do you expect? That's Dexter, right? Um, Picked up this table from online, fairly cheap. Um, I'll probably swap out the figure that I have on the table, seeing as Ryu doesn't deserve this kind of treatment. But I just wanted to show off the idea of what I had in mind. I don't know if I'll pick up a Barbie. I was telling my wife that I don't think I want to use a Barbie. That's maybe a little too dark. Maybe a GI Joe, I guess. But for now, that's what we're gonna have them on display in the cabinet, and there's no mistaking. That's a very iconic scene in the show. So, as to wrap it up, so for the look of the figure, uh, I think he's gonna get maybe an 8.5. The outfits are really nice. I dig the outfits. I dig how he looks. The badge is awesome. It's a nice touch. The head sculpts are really good. There's no denying that looks like Michael C. Hall. That looks like Dexter from afar. You can look at it and you won't mistake who it is. Um, I guess my only complaint is maybe he looks a little bit too young. Um, he looks like a wig Dexter. If you've seen the show, you know what I'm referring to. Um, but other than that, it's really good. The figure looks good. There's you see it on the display. There's no mistaking that is Dexter. Um, I guess my only complaint about the head sculpt is he doesn't have that subtle like the 5 o'clock shadow that stubbles or anything, and it makes him look a little bit too young, which is you know. But other than that, I mean, the figure itself looks great. So I'm thinking maybe an 8.5, almost a 9, but I think an 8.5 is fair. Accessories, I think I'm going to give that one an 8. There's no stand, which is in the year of 2025 a little strange. The the knives and various stabbing objects a little too toyish for my taste. And I like the badge, I like the pouch, I like the definitely docking the score on the fact that the box where the blood slides is not able to be opened. I like that they included the slides, but then I feel like it was an afterthought because you can't even properly stow it away. And my other final complaint, I don't know if you've can you guess it? Where's the face shield? Right? Um, that should have been an accessory that is included for Dark Passenger Dexter. He always wears a face shield, especially when it's time to cut the buddy up and dump it in the bay, as as the Bay Harbor Broacher would. So I feel like that was a miss. The two head sculpts are nice. Maybe even a box of donuts would have been cool. And I don't think they presume to ever make Brian Moser, so maybe the finger painted hands would have been cool. Um, Definitely a box of donuts. Box of donuts is a huge miss, also. So the two biggest things I feel like maybe should have been added: the box of donuts and the face shield, and obviously the stand. The stand just seems like I don't know. It's the year 2025, which is unfortunate. As I love the figure, but then at the same time, it feels rushed and dated. So this one's gonna hurt, but I think fun factor is a 7.5. I wanted to do so many other poses, and I feel like this is one of those figures that I'm gonna leave it like this, and I may leave it like this for a year. The the figure itself is hard to work with. Swapping the clothes was a little bit of a pain, but definitely the joints and whatnot are tough to work with. But once at the same time, once you get him in the pose that you like, he figure looks great. Let's let's so this is from the side view. Let's go ahead and change it to a front view so you can see the face sculpt as he plunges his knife in. I mean, look at that. The face sculpt looks absolutely menacing. Look at Ryu's face of fear. So get him to something like this. Yeah, the figure is. This is a fun pose. Absolutely fun pose, iconic pose. But getting it here took a while and a lot of work. Um, so looking at this, I'm gonna have a lot of fun looking at it. I just, every time my wife will walk by the cabinet, she'll have a lot of fun looking at it. As far as working at with the figure, it'll be a while since I change it up again. But yeah, I gave it a 7.5 for fun factor, and at the end of the day, it is a I get it's a toy, but it's not a toy. It is. I guess you can get them in the right diorama, and this thing will just go up in fun factor. I know maybe people will consider buying like a second body or a custom body. I don't know. That's not something I like to do. I purchase something, then it's supposed to be that way. I'm not gonna make any changes to it. But that pose right there looks wonderful. The eyes look really menacing, and the the knife plunging is very convincing, and I'm very happy with this pose. So this is where we're going to be leaving him. So yeah, and anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Um, Thank you for joining me with this experience, and I hope to see you in the next one. And we will be continuing the the other series currently going on, which is the refresh, repose, and review. As this is initial pose and initial review, which is glad to do it. Dexter's one of my favorite shows. I'm currently watching. Dexter Resurrection was, it was good until it wasn't. The last episode kind of took a lot of it away from me, but Original Sin I'm enjoying a lot. So I can't wait for Resurrection to roll around. But yeah, anyway, hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Tomorrow's Friday, or today. Hope you guys have a nice weekend. If I don't make the Punisher video this weekend. But yeah, thank you once again, and keep collecting. Enjoy, collect what you like. It's one thing I will say. I don't think very many people are going to be buying this figure, unfortunately, because I would love a Brian Moser figure. I would love for maybe Hot Toys to get their version in, but I think this is going to be it for Dexter, and I'm really happy to have him. Uh, Even though the score for Fun Factor is low, I would have missed this one. This is going to be one of my favorites in my collection, just because I'm just such a huge fan. But yeah, anyway, collect what you like and have fun. Have fun with it. Have a great weekend.